Yo.
Hey guys, how we doing?
What up? Happy Monday, bro.
Happy Monday. How's your week?
Hi everyone. Happy
No
Monday.
team meeting this morning. I was out in the trenches getting to it this morning, man.
Yeah,
How y'all doing today?
good. I'm great.
I'm good. I'm good.
Love it. Tell me what's going on in the world of Karen.
Just out here banging on these calls and see any opportunities in there.
How's the open leads been?
So far I'm slowly like making it lesser, and I think I'm really doing great at it. I've been having more than 100 dials, so I think yeah.
Love it. So you're starting to hit the KPIs with all the open leads.
Yeah.
Okay, great. So for anybody listening, we transferred CRMs to RE Simply. So we were in Podio and we realized that it's just not scalable. So we switched over to RE Simply. As we switched over to RE Simply, there were a lot of leads that in RE Simply it's called open leads, like they haven't been touched yet. So we're having Karen and our other lead manager bang through these open leads. So with doing so, we were having a tough time hitting our KPIs because the new system, we're just getting used to it. But since Karen started hammering the open leads, she's now hitting over her KPIs. So our KPIs are 100 dials per user. So for a lead manager or acquisition manager, it's 100 dials a day. And that typically leads to about 25 conversations that are a minute or longer. So that's the KPI that we try to hit for the lead manager and for all acquisition managers. So that's good to hear. Felipe, how's KPIs been for you?
I'm starting to get exponentially higher every day. So
I like that
today,
word, bro.
today I reached thanks. Today I reached 80. I kind of want to ask Karen, where do you go when you get your open leads? Because I might play around there too if I have nothing else going on contact made.
That's a good idea.
Because when I click on open leads, it just shows me 4 of them or 3 of them. So I'm
Yeah.
like an access thing.
That's a question for Andrew.
Okay.
So what we'll do, Felipe, we're actually that's one thing we're gonna go over probably tomorrow or the next day. We're going to wait until all the open leads were clear, but it's taking a little bit longer than we expected. So we're gonna end up implementing like the day-to-days for lead manager and acquisition manager. That sheet, it's like a what the hell you call that? Yeah, flow chart. It's a flow chart on what your day should look like, and that's going to help you hit the KPIs.
Oh yeah.
But for sure, let's bring that up when we talk either tomorrow or Wednesday with Andrew, that the open leads should if they haven't been tackled by like Tuesday or Wednesday, all of them, then we'll make sure that Felipe can hop on them, because I think you have to be like assigned to the open leads or something like that, or get access to them.
Okay. Because I can see how many open leads we have, but when I click on it, it just shows you like 4 or 5 of them. I don't know. It's probably like an access type of thing.
Yeah, that's what I think it is. So if we don't clear them all within the next day or two, then we'll get you access and you can help bang those out.
Okay.
I think that'll help for sure. And it's essentially just us. Once those open leads are all cleared, we're like officially fully in the CRM. We have officially transferred completely. So that's going to be good. And then from there, like the flow chart is so good. Like you'll know exactly what you're doing the whole entire day. It's so dope. I can't wait for it. But anyways, what do you guys got?
So that realtor called me back this morning in the property in Plymouth.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh shoot, this might be something, because he wants me to put in an offer now. He's like, can you throw in an offer? You might be able to get the house. And then I was trying to feel out where the other offers were, and all of them came back in the 300s. So I was like, oh, we're also in the 300s, so let's see where it can go. And then I told him I'll get back to him with an offer because I wanted you to take a look at the pictures first before I send something out.
Mm-hmm.
Am I lagging?
Yeah, a little bit.
Is my voice good though?
Yeah, bro.
Okay. So, and then when I called him back, right, he got another offer that was over 400. So I was like, oh, well, it is what it is. We can't beat 400. And we just kind of parted ways. I let him know if there's any other fix and flips in the area, let us know.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, there's no point of giving in the offer if it's already over 400.
Yeah. Now it's just time to pull away because we're not even close. We're probably going to be like around 300 from what.
We were like 340 around there. But I just had a follow up to see if it's sold or not.
Yeah, cool. Pull away. So we're buying a deal this week, and it's from an agent, and the agent essentially said something along the lines of the same thing. She was like, I gave her my offer, and then she said we needed to be like $10,000 higher than our offer, right? And yeah, she wanted us to be $10,000 higher than our offer. Said that she has other offers coming in. This was on a Friday, and she's like, "Yeah, you know what? I'm just gonna keep shopping around for the next couple of days. I'll reach out to you Monday if it's still available. I don't think it's gonna be because we already have a couple other offers." So I'm like, "Okay, great. Well, you should probably go with them."
Mm-hmm.
Right? I said, "Actually, we literally just got 2 deals under contract, not including this one." Today, I was talking about like that day. I was like, yeah, we literally just got 2 of them under contract that we're going to have to perform on. We can perform on this one as well. But to be honest, because we already have 2 in place, this one doesn't really get us too excited unless we're at our number. So I suggest you probably go shop it out and get your sellers the highest offer if that's what you think is best. She's like, okay, I'm going to go do that. She calls me 2 minutes later and says, you know what? The sellers will accept your offer. So it's the same thing. It's just pulling away. Like we don't need the deal,
Yeah.
Be a don't want her.
Yeah, and that's basically what would happen. He like right when he picked up, he already told me, like, oh, we already got an offer over 400. I was like, all right, that's cool, no worries. I didn't really care. And I told him, if you find anything else, let us know in the area. Other than that, you should definitely go with that offer.
Yeah, just let him know that we can buy the house. Just it's going to be somewhere in the low 300s. Is that what you said?
Yeah. I just told him like we're much lower than 400. Like we're in the low 300s. And he's like, yeah, well, it's better for my clients to go over the 400. So he knows you can buy it. We just got outbidded basically.
That's fine. What else you got, bro?
I have a call that I actually did on Friday, and I wanted to go over it again.
All right, let's go over questions first, and then to end, we'll go over some call calibrations. Okay.
That's cool.
Karen, do you have any? Or you good?
No, yeah, you good.
Karen, do you have any questions?
Yeah. Well, while I was going through the open leads and checking back with the sellers, this was one of my questions. Most of them had this objection, which is like they couldn't decide anything. They don't have a timeline as to when they would be ready to sell because of market going down, interest rates going high. How do I overcome that objection and try to give them advice and lead them to a decision?
Figuring out why they would ever sell the property in the first place.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Because think about it. Last week we talked a lot about giving homework.
Yep.
Like, hey, go talk to your realtor, or hey, go talk to your wife or something like that, and we'll follow up tomorrow on the conversation, right? So figuring out why they would ever sell the property and giving homework towards that why, right? So maybe they're not ready right now. Okay. Maybe, they have to wait until the end of the year because of taxes, or they want to talk to their CPA or something like that. Then you give homework on that. You see what I mean?
Okay. Yeah.
And if you're having a hard time figuring out why they would ever sell their property, it might not be a lead, right?
Yep.
So there has to be some sort of motivation why they would ever sell their property, and then set homework according to why they would ever sell. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So give me an example of like one that you're talking about where you do know the motivation.
Um, there's this lead that they wanted to relegate,
Okay.
and um, the thing about it is it has been difficult for them because interest rates are going high, and it's been difficult for them to look for houses to buy. They were like moving to a closer to their children.
Okay.
They wanted to move closer to their children because they're old, so they would need that, and the house is too big for them to
What have they
maintain.
been doing in order to find a house?
As of the moment they mentioned that they're just trying to randomly look for houses, and they haven't found any yet.
Did you ask if they have talked to a realtor at all?
I did. I think they're just kind of like not. Um, their realtor said that they had actually did shop around that place, and that was in Florida. So they shopped around the place, and they think that they can't
Do
afford
they
the
have a
houses
pre
there yet.
do they have a pre-approval?
What does that mean? Like,
So essentially when somebody goes to buy a house,
oh yeah,
like a retail buyer, they hire a realtor to help them find a house, right? They say, "Hey,
yeah,
realtor," let's just say Karen is my realtor, and I want to go buy a house. I'd say, "Hey, Karen, I'm looking to buy a 3 bed, 2 bath in the Boston area, somewhere between 15 and 2,000 square feet, 1,500, 2,000 square feet. Um, where do we start?" Karen would tell me as a realtor, Karen would say, "Hey, great. I'd love to help you find a house. We just got to get you pre-approved first, which means we have to go bring you to one of our loan officers and get you approved for a loan to buy that house that we're going to go look for, right? Because then once we have the pre-approval letter, we can waive this to the agent, the listing agent that we want to go put an offer in. So they're going to put an offer in and then show the pre-approval, like, hey, my buyers are pre-approved for 400 grand. Okay.
mm-hmm.
So that's just part of this part of the process. So when talking to a seller, I would ask all those questions. See, this is what I mean by asking like why they would ever sell. Okay, they want to
Yeah,
relocate be closer to their um to be closer to their children. Now, what are the best next steps for them? That's where and you're starting to really get it, Karen, which I'm proud of you. Like you're learning right here. What is a pre-approval? You're learning the process. This is what happens when you go out and create chaos and you're like, what the heck? I have these people that just don't know what to do with finding a house. Oh, well, here are the steps to go and find a house for a retail buyer, right?
okay,
So now you have this in your tool belt. So now your tool belt for homework, right? So now you're able to go give homework. Hey, I think you should wherever they've been at. I didn't listen to the conversation, but let's just say they haven't got the pre-approval. Hey,
mm-hmm.
I would talk to your realtor and have her connect you with a loan officer so you can get pre-approved for a house. That way you guys can start putting offers in on houses and stuff like that. Have you guys done that yet? No? Okay, great. Then that's where you have to follow up in for the next call. And then it's consistently like that. And then all of a sudden, one day they get the pre-approval, they start making the moves, and you see what I mean?
Yeah,
So it's figuring out why they would ever sell the property and then giving homework on the best next steps to get to that solution of why.
got it.
Make
Okay,
sense? Does that
yep,
help?
yeah, helpful.
So actually, that's really, really good. What I would do, right, is I would go have a bunch of conversations and go create a bunch of chaos and keep in the back of your mind, okay, I'm getting good at, because you are good at this. You're good at pulling the information and figuring out why somebody would ever sell the property. You're getting really good at that. So now it's just creating a step-by-step like blueprint for the seller from here to solving the problem of why they would ever sell their property, right? And
Yeah.
that blueprint is what you give homework on. So when we have these lives and whenever we're talking in team meetings and stuff like that, I would say, hey, I have this seller who wants to sell for X reason. What do you think the next best steps are for the seller? Like, here's the situation. And like in this particular situation, if you told me, yeah, they haven't really contacted a realtor, I would say, hey, maybe tell them to go call their realtor and get a pre-approval letter so they can start putting offers in on houses and and then you would be like, oh, I didn't, just like today. You're like, oh, I didn't even know that you needed to get pre-approved for a retail buyer going out and buying houses, right? And now you're starting to understand the process just of real estate in general, which is really
Okay.
good. And this is how you really learn. This is how
Yeah.
I do it every day. I'm learning literally every single day. I'm putting myself in the fire, going through deals that like I've never done before, and just learning through it, right? So super dope. Anything else?
That's it for now.
Cool. Felipe, what do you got, bro?
If you could do me a favor, I think I'm lagging so much. If you could search up Otter Hole, that property.
You want to just put in the chat?
Yeah.
You just had this conversation today?
This was a conversation on Friday.
Oh,
But
yeah.
we don't do lives on Friday. Just a little gist of what happened. So I went in with to try to get the signature again,
Mm-hmm.
and that's basically it. That you need to know. You could skip like the first three or 4 minutes of the call because it's just us figuring out if she got the email or not.
Okay. Let's see what's going on.
Hey, Lori, it's Felipe. How you doing? Did you type in the R? Correct. Yeah. Okay. Does anything that needs to be changed?
What changed? Well, that's not it. No, it was on.
Let me see. Okay, I'm sending a new one right now. Let me know if you got a fresh email.
Okay.
So what was the conversation leading up to this? Is you like going over the agreement with the seller, correct?
Yeah, last conversation we went over together,
Mm-hmm.
and it ended by her saying, "I need my husband to take a look at it," and it looks good on her end. And then I sent her the blank agreement, and we left it at there.
Okay, so in the beginning of this call, since we just skipped like a good chunk of it in the beginning, what did you follow up on?
To see what her husband thought of the whole agreement and the whole situation.
And what did she say?
She said he hasn't looked at it, obviously, because they're lying.
And then what happened?
And then throughout the whole 3 or 5 minutes, she's just trying to find the email, and I just sent her a new one, which
Of
was
the blank agreement?
no, of the actual one, because I was going to go over it with her this time.
Mm-hmm.
And then, so that's like basically it. And then I think you're probably at the point where she gets the email, and then we talk about it.
Okay, got it. So let's think about this before we even go forward. She let us know her decision-making process, right? That's part of the Sandler submarine. Like figuring out her decision-making process.
Mm-hmm.
Who was helping her make a decision? Why? Like, how was she making the decision? Who does she need to counsel in order to make the decision? And she told us, like, hey, I got to talk this over with my husband. Right?
Yep.
And then we follow up with her and she says, no, I haven't talked to my husband yet. So if we send over the agreement and she hasn't talked to her husband yet, which is how she's making the decision,
yeah,
who do you think this is going to go?
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would be like, think about it. It would be like if Felipe was going to the gym, right? He was an active gym person, then got hurt. Okay. And I was Felipe's trainer. And I called Felipe and I was like, hey, let's get in the gym next week. And Felipe's like, yeah, as long as my leg is good, you know? And I call Felipe on Monday and say, hey, I got the gym open for you, right? But Felipe just tells me, like, I follow up and say, hey, Felipe, how's your leg doing, right? And you say, oh, dude, it's still hurt. I don't think I'm going to be able to work out. And then I say, oh, okay, we're going to get in the gym. You'd be like, dude, I just told you my legs still hurt. So it's the same gist. Like she told you the conditions. Be okay with just saying, okay, yeah, great. It's like it's part of the pull away, right?
Mhm.
Hey, have you got a chance to talk with your husband? No, okay. And then I would talk about something like, what do you think he's gonna say? How do you think that conversation is gonna go? How do you want that conversation to go? How do you feel about everything? You see what I mean? And then maybe I would give, depending on how that conversation went, maybe I would give a little bit different homework, depending on how the conversation went. But at the end of the day, I would just say, oh, okay, no worries. We have a couple other houses that we're looking to buy this week. Sounds like you and your husband might not be too ready to sell the property, which is no worries. But, you know, me and my partners are probably going to check out these other opportunities that we have. Why don't we have a conversation in a couple of days, and hopefully by then you have talked to your husband?
Okay. I like that.
You know? Because here's what happens. If you don't, and you send over the agreement, now Felipe is sitting there at like looking at his ceiling that night, like, what the heck? Like, why did I lose the sale?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And you feel like you lose the sale. You felt like you lost an opportunity when realistically there was never even an opportunity to begin with. Right? The opportunity just wasn't there yet. Not saying like there's never going to be an opportunity, but since she told us the decision-making process, like the opportunity to perform on the decision didn't present itself yet. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. No, I feel like that was a rookie mistake on my part.
Nah, dude, what the heck?
Mm-hmm.
You're a badass, son. Who the heck sends out contracts, bro? Not too many people can even get a seller's email, dog.
Yeah. I remember when I first started real estate, I was cold calling, and my only objective was to get an email. And I was like, bro, this is impossible.
Right.
It was so hard.
Literally. So like, think about it. Think about how far you've come, bro.
Mm-hmm.
That is not that's next level type stuff. That's next level sales. You know what I'm saying? Like that's not even close to rookie. Like you're on all Madden, dog, when you're doing that stuff. But let's hear how it went.
I was gonna say, are you able to open up the agreement? I just want to make sure all the information is correct, if your name is right, address.
So I agree to use word plan for reference. Okay, I'll click on that so we can open it. 666 Otter Hole, yes. Names are correct, so sober home. Okay, that's a different.
Okay. To begin, right? So Felipe has the contract ready to sign. Okay.
Yep.
And what's her name? Lori is sitting there by her computer. When we're about to send the agreement and we say, hey, Lori, I just sent over the agreement. Do we actually say that we actually push the button to send?
No.
Right? So we didn't really get there, but did you end up doing that? It's okay if you didn't.
Yeah, no, I honestly didn't do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because what does that do? That just shows that she's engaged. So I do that on every single one, right? This is some freaking sauce. If you guys are listening to this, hold on. Like, yo, real talk. I wish I knew this in the beginning. Okay. So when I go send an agreement, let's just say I'm sending it to Felipe, right? Felipe is my seller. I say, hey, Felipe, are you by your computer? Okay, great. Open up your email. Okay, you have it open? Wonderful. Hey, I'm going to send this over. Let me know when you get it. I wait a couple seconds. Boom, just sent it. But I don't actually press the send button. Right?
Yep.
So I let it rock. And then I asked Felipe, hey, bro, did you get it? And Felipe tells me, no, I didn't get it. That shows me, okay, Felipe is engaged and he actually has his email open. He's actually looking for it. Right? What if Felipe says, yeah, I got it? Then Felipe is capping. You know what I'm saying? He's lying. Now you know. So we make sure that the seller's engaged. We don't actually send out the contract. We just pretend like we did. And then when they say, oh, no, I didn't get it. Oh, my bad. I think I hit the wrong button. How about now? Oh, okay, got it now. Now you got them engaged. Now you're walking them through the contract.
Yes, go ahead.
I was just saying, are you able to open up the agreement? I just want to make sure all the information is correct, that your name is right, address.
It's, I agree to use electronic records. Okay, I'll click on that so we can open it. After I look at it, I'll have more questions, most likely. I know I know my attorney's gonna go, oh, $1,000 deposit, that's not enough. I just know that's what you're gonna say, but.
Yeah, it's just easy to stand
They
there.
always said that, you wouldn't look at the house until after this is fine.
Okay. Just give me the gist of like what happened. Did she start stating everything that was in the contract?
Yeah, so she just looked over it, and then she said all the information was correct. And then at the very end, she hit me with let me send it over to my attorney. And then I told her that I said that script of like, oh, if a seller says they want to send to my attorney, it's either I messed up or you don't trust us or there's something that you're confused about. So I said that whole script. She was like, no, I just want to send to my attorney. And I was like, oh, okay. I didn't really know where else to go off of that.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of where it was left off. And then I set the follow up to call her on Tuesday, tomorrow, to get an answer.
Wonderful. Okay. So this is why it's important to fill up the buckets, to fill up the compartments in the Sandler submarine, right? Before we go for the close. So we got to figure out exactly what the seller's decision-making process, like we said earlier. That way, she can't come back to us and say something like this. We actually overcome this objection before it even comes. So we ask them like, hey, how are you making the decision? Who is helping you make the decision? Big one, like that I would ask on before you're about to send out any contracts or anything like that, because this happens all the time. This is probably like the third time that this has happened, maybe in the last like 4 weeks, would you say?
Yeah.
I got my attorney look over it.
Mm-hmm.
So now that we know that, now that we've seen that this happens a lot, why don't we ask up front, hey, are you going to need your attorney to look this over? Hey, do you need anybody else to look this over? Maybe an attorney or some counsel or something like that?
Yep.
Oh, yeah. Or if they say no, right? And then that objection comes back up later and they say, oh, I'm going to have my attorney look it over. Then you call them out. Not like in an asshole way.
Yep.
But hey, Felipe, just help me understand. I remember you said earlier that you didn't need your attorney to look it over. Could you just help me understand like what it is you need your attorney to look over now? Like what changed?
Mm-hmm.
Right? So we nip those things in the bud before they ever happen. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Cool. Yeah, because it sounds like, who knows? She's like maybe 10% of people actually really do need to have their attorney look it over.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh yeah, and then I said when I hit her with that script, She said, no, I just want to talk to my attorney. And then I told her, well, why don't you just give me their number? I can talk to them directly. And then she didn't want to do that either.
Mm-hmm.
So
you have the right idea. Like,
yeah.
You legit have the right idea. I get it because I've been there before. You have the right idea and you're starting to get the concept. We just got to tweak it a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I mean? And we got to tweak it in a sense where it doesn't sound like commission breath at all. Like, do you remember you listened to the Sandler book, right? Or did you read it?
I read it.
So when you're listening to it and he's talking, does it sound like he has commission breath? Like, does it sound like when he's saying these things like, yeah, help me understand? Does that sound like commission breath, or does that sound like actual concern and what's the word I'm looking for? Concern and you know the word curiosity.
Okay.
Curiosity. Like that, those two words alone, if you put that in your arsenal, being concerned and being super, super curious, that's gonna kind of put the commission breath away. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Because when we say something like, oh, well, I can just I can talk to your attorney. Why don't we get you on the phone? Why don't I get on the phone with your attorney? The seller understands that you want to like you're trying to control something and you're trying to push it. But when you're saying it in a concerning and curious way, it makes them give you some information that you can go back and use later on. Just like, hey, so are you going to have to, run this by like your attorney or something like that? Sometimes our sellers want to do that. That sounds super curious. So what ends up happening is they give you an answer. Oh, no, I'm all set. Then when it comes up later, it's not like, oh, let's just hop on the phone with the attorney. No, it's, hey, so help me understand. You said earlier that you didn't have to run this by anybody. Can you just help me understand like what changed?
Mm-hmm. That
doesn't sound as like commission breathy rather than, oh, let's just hop on the phone with the seller. I mean, hop on the phone with the attorney. Am I making sense?
Yeah.
So rather like you have the right idea of trying to, figure out what's going on. Like, what are the real objections? You completely have the right idea. It's just now the way that we go about it and the way our tone is and the way we question it, like the way you word your questions truly, truly matters. And once you start tweaking that, bro, you're going to become a freaking killer. I was literally just on the phone with a lien holder. We're trying to negotiate a lien. So I'm literally live negotiating a lien. I should have freaking done it on here. So I'm negotiating the lien down for a property that we're trying to get on the contract. I know what the heck I'm doing, right? But on the call, I'm sounding super, super concerned, right? Super, super curious. Rather than just saying, oh, wait, so we can do that? Like, you know what I mean? It was, I don't want to give out too much information because it's a specific type of deal, but like, oh, wait, we can negotiate the lien down, right? That's like, instead of going directly in and saying that's not what I said.
Yeah.
I'm asking like, well, what does that look like? Like, how could we accomplish this for everybody? And do you see the difference?
Mm-hmm. I definitely do.
Because if I went in like with him knowing that I'm trying to just, all I care about is buying the property, which I don't. I want to actually really help the situation. But if he sensed that, hey, all I care about is buying the house, right? And all I care about is paying off your lien at a discount, he's going to sense that. And if I'm saying things like, yeah, so can we just buy the house at, and negotiate your lien down. Like that's what it kind of sounds like when you're doing it without the curiosity and concern.
Okay. No, I like that idea. That concept, I should say.
Mm-hmm. Cool. You guys have any other questions?
I came across a lead that you went on an appointment with,
Mm-hmm.
and I tasked it over to you. Not sure if you saw it, and I had a hunch that this guy passed away.
I know, I saw that, bro.
You saw that? Yeah. So yeah. So I looked up the obituary, and he was there. Unfortunately, he did pass away. But now the property's left for the heirs. So I was wondering if we could contact or skip trade. I don't even know how to get in contact with them because it's not going to be on the property.
Dang, that's sad, bro.
You remember that appointment?
Mm-hmm.
What gave me the hunch is he just never picked up the phone again. He just kind of like disappeared. And then one day he picked up the phone and someone else, it was like, oh, he's in the hospital. I was like, that's weird. But okay, it is what it is. And then I was like, I'm just going to look up his name and see what pops up. And it was the obituary.
Dang. R.I.P., bro.
Yeah.
That's sad. Yeah. I saw another one that you tasked too, where the seller ended up letting it go to auction.
Yes. Forgot about that one.
Like an absolute freaking knucklehead.
Yeah. And someone bought it for 182 and our offer was 180.
I told him, bro. Like,
yes.
I put it on myself. Maybe I could have done a better job of communicating or whatever the case is. But here's the thing. I'm like, dude, we're going to need an extended time. We have the team to extend the foreclosure, but there's no way that we're going to be able to clear title in the next 2 or 3 days.
Yeah.
Right? And he's like, no, I don't want to do anything like that. I want my cash in legit like 3 or 4 days or something crazy. Then all of a sudden he said that he had another buyer over us that can close in like 4 days. I'm like, yeah, I don't know any buyers who can close in 4 days. Like, it doesn't make any sense. You will not be able to clear title that quick. Maybe there's people out there that can close in 4 days. I don't know. But anyways, I essentially just told him, like, dude, if that's the offer that you want to go with, great. However, I would highly suggest that you do not do that, essentially.
Yep.
Because I don't see how they can close in 4 days.
Yep.
But here's the thing with people going through foreclosure. Ostriches with their head in the sand. And he's a stubborn old guy who has his ex's kids in the house. So he didn't care. He's like, whatever. At the end of the day, he was going to make like maybe 15 grand or something if he sold to us for after what he owed. But yeah, bro. Can't save them all, bro.
Yeah. That one was tough. I was confused too. I was like, wait, so the house sold? He's like, yeah, it sold today, like 2 hours ago. I was like,
the thing is, the actual thing is it's in Florida, and in the state of Florida, you have 10 days to redeem your property back. So if you come up with all the cash to pay off the lender, you can redeem the property back. So I saw the task. That's why I brought it up. I tried calling him. He didn't answer. So if you want to try calling him in the next like 24 hours, we can close as quickly as 10 days if we find a buyer like ASAP, right? So let him know in the state of Florida, you have 10 days to redeem the property back. If you want to still go with our 180 offer, we can try to see what we can do.
Yeah, so he told me that some lawyer called him to try to help him make his money back, and he just wasn't interested in it either. It's super weird.
What the problem is like I said, his ex's daughter is in the property. And he obviously is salty about his ex. And he's like, hey, you know what? I just want this thing to get foreclosed on because I want to see her get kicked out.
Yeah.
Like, he's just being petty, honestly. And he makes a lot of money. So at the end of the day, like, he doesn't really care about 15 grand.
Oh, okay.
So I think that's the real problem. But that's why I was just like, all right, bro. But anyways, people, silverhomies.com if you guys want us to close your leads, follow up with your leads, do all the things, dispo and everything. Felipe, Karen, you guys are badass. Good job this week. Let's go. This is a nice full week. Let's crank it. Let's hit these KPIs. We legitimately, just in my pipeline alone, we have like 3 contracts that we should get like in the beginning of this week. So between the two of y'all, let's get some freaking contracts. Let's go.
You
guys have any other questions or anything you want to add?
How'd your appointment go?
Oh, yeah. That's going to be a good one. It's a Morby method, so I have a little bit more structuring to do, but I think we're going to be able to get it done. Essentially, it's a 5-unit building, okay? Seller wants $585,000, and he's okay with us giving 50% up front and then not getting any payments for 7 years.
Wait,
So
time out. I think we're talking about 2 different appointments.
Oh, okay.
I don't know about that one. Is that the one with the realtor involved?
No.
Okay, I was talking about the one that we had under contract, and we fell out.
I'll figure that one out in the next day or 2.
Okay, so you went on another appointment. That's a seller finance appointment.
Yeah, this is a Morby method, the one I'm talking about.
Okay, got it.
This is a 5-unit building. Guy wants $585,000. He said he'd be willing to take half up front now and then not take any payments for 7 years. And at the end of 7 years, be paid out the rest of his money.
That's cool.
So what we do is we bring a non-recourse lender in, somebody that lends on the asset, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just on the performance of the asset. They'll lend based on the value of it. So they're going to lend up to 70% of the 585 if it appraises for 585, which it should. So they'll lend 70% of that. So we're going to give him 50 of that 70%. Then we're going to take the extra 20, and we're going to use that for renovations. We might have to do a couple of evictions. So we'll take 20% of whatever 585 is. It's probably like 100 and something grand. And take that 100 and something grand, do some reno, do some evictions, and then for the last 30%, because think about it, somebody's bringing in 70%, you got to close on it in order to take the deed. So you bring 70% in from the non-recourse lender, and then the 30% comes from a private money lender that will lend for like a few days just to close it out. So they lend that just to close out the loan, to satisfy it, and then you wire those funds back, and then you create a promissory note for $50,000 that says 50%. That says we owe you this 50% at the end of 7 years. I know it's probably a lot. You're probably like, what the heck?
No, I understand. Now, if I'm going to remember every step? No, but I understand the gist of it.
Mm-hmm. But literally, bro, we will get paid to buy that house.
That's super cool. Which, did I talk to this guy? Because I feel like I remember talking to a 5-unit.
I think you did.
Is his name Philip?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you might have talked to him. You probably did. I'll look it up. But cool. All right, people. Subscribe to the channel, like the video. We appreciate y'all watching. Everybody have a blessed night. Peace.
Peace.